The moment I stepped onto the deck of the Athena, I knew this mission would be different. The air was thick with anticipation, the kind that only comes when you're about to break every rule in the book. Our target was a relic from a bygone era, rumored to be hidden deep within the asteroid belt of the Pleiades Cluster. "Captain Serena Voss," a voice called out, pulling me from my thoughts. I turned to see my first mate, Jonah Riggs, grinning ear to ear. His enthusiasm was infectious, a necessary trait for the leader of a ragtag crew of space adventurers. "The team is ready. Just waiting on your word." "Good," I reply, adjusting my neural interface. The Athena was more than a ship. She was a living entity, her circuits intertwined with my thoughts. Let's make history. As we navigated through the asteroid field, the ship's AI Artemis projected a holographic map in front of me. The map showed a tangled web of asteroid paths and gravitational eddies, a navigational nightmare for any pilot. "Captain, we are approaching the coordinates. The relic should be within visual range soon." The relic, known as the Temporal Core, was said to possess the power to manipulate time itself. It was a treasure beyond value, sought after by every major power in the galaxy. But to me, it represented something more personal, a chance to rewrite the past. The asteroid loomed ahead, a massive, irregular hunk of rock. Jonah and I donned our exosuits, the sleek black armor gleaming with blue energy as we prepared for the extravehicular mission. "Ready to dance with fate?" Jonah asked, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "Always," I replied, launching myself into the void. The interior of the asteroid was a labyrinth of tunnels, carved by ancient, unknown hands. We moved cautiously, our suit lights cutting through the darkness. The walls were covered in alien glyphs that seemed to shimmer and shift as we passed. "Artemis, can you pinpoint the core's location?" I asked. "Scanning. There is a significant energy signature approximately 200 meters below your current position," the AI responded. As we descended deeper, the walls began to shimmer with an otherworldly light. I reached out, touching the surface. "These markings. They look like nothing I've ever seen," I murmured. "Careful, Captain. We don't know what we're dealing with," Jonah warned. We reached a massive chamber, its ceiling lost in shadows. In the center, bathed in a pulsating blue glow, stood the temporal core. It was a crystalline structure, delicate yet powerful, radiating an aura of untold potential. "Beautiful, isn't it?" a voice echoed through the chamber. We spun around to see a figure stepping out of the shadows. "I've been waiting for you, Captain Voss." It was Thalia Kade, a notorious bounty hunter, and my former ally. "Thalia," I said, my voice edged with disbelief. "What are you doing here?" "Same as you, I suppose," she replied, a smirk playing on her lips. "Seeking to change the past." "Thalia, you can't seriously think you can stop us," Jonah said, his weapon trained on her. "I don't think, Jonah. I know," Thalia retorted, her eyes glinting with resolve. Jonah and I raised our weapons, but Thalia was quick. With a flick of her wrist, she activated a force field, separating us from the core. "I can't let you have it, Serena," she said. "The power to alter time is too dangerous." "You're one to talk about danger," Jonah shot back. "You've made a career out of causing chaos." "Maybe. But this is different," Thalia said, her tone uncharacteristically serious. "The temporal core could tear the fabric of reality apart. I can't let you use it." I stepped forward, my eyes locked on hers. "And I can't let you stop me." Before I could react, Thalia lunged at me, her movements a blur. We clashed, the impact sending us both sprawling. Jonah fired at the force field, but it held strong. "Serena!" he shouted, desperation in his voice. I struggled to my feet, my mind racing. Thalia was right about one thing. The core was incredibly dangerous. But I couldn't back down now. I had come too far, sacrificed too much. Why do you want to change the past so badly, Serena? Thalia asked, circling me like a predator. What could be so important that you'd risk everything? You wouldn't understand, I said, my voice barely a whisper. Try me, she challenged. As we fought, a blinding light filled the chamber. The core began to hum, its energy building to a crescendo. What's happening? Jonah yelled. The core is activating, Thalia screamed, her voice tinged with fear. We have to get out of here. But it was too late. The light engulfed us, and the world dissolved into a swirling vortex of colors and sensations. I felt myself being pulled apart, my consciousness stretching across time and space. When the world finally stopped spinning, I found myself in a place that defied comprehension. The ground beneath me was a mosaic of shifting patterns, and the sky was a tapestry of swirling galaxies. I was alone, or so I thought. Welcome, Captain Voss, a voice said. I turned to see a figure standing before me, cloaked in shadows. I am the guardian of time. Where am I? I asked, struggling to make sense of my surroundings. You are in the temporal nexus, the heart of all realities, the guardian explained. The core has brought you here because you seek to change the past. Yes, I said, my voice trembling. I need to fix my mistakes. The guardian's eyes, like twin stars, bore into mine. Changing the past is a dangerous endeavor. Every action has consequences, and the ripple effects can be catastrophic. I don't care, I said, my resolve hardening. I have to try. The guardian nodded slowly. Very well. But know this, once you step through the temporal gate, there is no turning back. Choose your actions wisely, for they will shape the future in ways you cannot foresee. With that, a portal opened before me, shimmering with an ethereal light. Taking a deep breath, I stepped through. The moment I emerged, I knew something was wrong. The world around me was familiar yet twisted. The sky was dark, filled with ominous storm clouds, and the air crackled with static energy. Serena, what have you done? A voice called out. I turned to see Jonah, but he looked different. Older, battle-worn, and carrying the weight of countless regrets. Jonah, what happened? I asked, fear creeping into my voice. You activated the core, he said, his eyes filled with sorrow. And in doing so, you created a temporal rift. Time is unraveling and reality is collapsing. No, I whispered, the weight of my actions crashing down on me. This can't be happening. We have to fix this, Jonah said, grabbing my arm. We need to find the core and reset the timeline. As we raced through the chaos, dodging falling debris and temporal anomalies, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. This was all my fault. My desire to change the past had brought about the end of everything. We reached the core, now a swirling maelstrom of energy. We have to synchronize our neural interfaces, Jonah said, his voice strained. It's the only way to stabilize the rift. I nodded, connecting my neural link to his. As we worked together, the core's energy began to stabilize, the chaotic storm around us calming. But I knew there would be a price to pay. Serena, Jonah said, his voice trembling. In order to reset the timeline, one of us has to stay behind and keep the core stable. No, I said, shaking my head. There has to be another way. There isn't, he replied, his eyes filled with determination. This is the only way to save everything. Tears filled my eyes as I realized what he was saying. I can't lose you, Jonah. You won't, he said, a sad smile on his lips. I'll always be with you, in every timeline, in every reality. With that, he stepped into the core, his body dissolving into pure energy. The rift stabilized, the world around us resetting to its original state. I awoke back on the Athena, the ship's systems humming softly. "Captain, we have successfully returned to our original timeline," Artemis said. I looked around, my heart heavy with loss. Jonah was gone, but his sacrifice had saved us all. I would carry his memory with me, a reminder of the cost of tampering with time. As I gazed out at the stars, I knew my journey was far from over. The universe was vast, filled with mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And I would face them all, with the spirit of my fallen friend guiding me. For humanity, for the future, and for the love that transcends time.